Good afternoon. We begin with breaking news. A bombshell in North Dakota today. State auditors found social workers aren't checking on child abuse victims as they should be. When children are reported in extreme abusive situations, including risk of death, the policy requires someone respond within 24 hours. The auditor's office found DHS is averaging 13 days. Among other things, the audit found other areas of concern, including child care providers operating without proper re-inspection, which could jeopardize the health and safety of children. The audit found if DHS did respond to reports based on their policy, 577 cases of severe child abuse may have been avoided. An apartment was completely destroyed in a fire in Dilworth this morning. That happened just after 7 a.m. in the 600 block of 1st Avenue Northwest. The entire complex had to be evacuated because smoke filled the halls from a lower level unit. A dog had to be resuscitated because of smoke inhalation, but that animal is expected to be okay. No one was hurt. The cause is under investigation. A Stutsman County man is facing a list of charges after police say he resisted arrest and assaulted the police chief in Jamestown. Jamestown police responded to calls of a reckless driver yesterday afternoon. They tried to stop a man who was driving a motorcycle, but he fled and a chase ensued. Eventually, Police Chief Scott Ettinger pulled over 42-year-old Jeremiah Miholka. Ettinger says the man resisted arrest and assaulted him. 3 community members then stepped in to help. That man was taken into custody. He's now facing 13 charges, including fleeing, reckless driving, and assault on a peace officer. The chief was not seriously hurt. Our mild day may turn into some evening showers. Nathan joins us now with a first look at the forecast. Nathan?
Yeah, thanks, Stacy. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Halfway through the business week, and it nice and quiet today, just as we expected. We do have a few rumblings out there that we are tracking for you, but not so much in Grand Forks area. Notice plenty of sunshine there. A few passing clouds, but that's all we're contending with right now there in the Grand Forks area. But if you go further toward the east, we do have some rumbles of thunder there in the New Fulton area, just to the north of Thief River Falls there, in portions of Marshall and into Beltrami County is where we're seeing some of those showers. You can see right there from New Fulton all the way over to portions of northern Beltrami County. These are not moving very fast or very far, so this is just a little shower that we're seeing, very isolated in nature. Some rumbles of thunder, though, are occurring. With that, though, any storm tonight not expecting to be severe. That is the good news. For the rest of us, things are nice and quiet, but out toward the west, notice some clouds pushing from Minot into our far western neighborhoods. This is going to be associated with a little weather wiggle that we're expecting later tonight, which will bring the chance of some rain or some rumbles there overnight tonight. Now, notice how most of us have clear sky. Temperatures were able to warm up today into those 80s for most everybody. 88 Oaks, 88 Jamestown, currently in the low to mid 80s in Fargo and Grand Forks. Even our Minnesota counties made it into the low 80s. But of course, Stacy, we're tracking that chance of storms both tonight and for the next couple days. Active pattern ahead, so we'll break down those details in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Nathan. Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney, who lost her primary election last night, doesn't plan to leave politics without a fight. Cheney, Donald Trump's fiercest Republican adversary in Congress, fell to a rival backed by the former president, reinforcing his grip on the party's base. Trump-backed Harriet Hageman won by the largest margin during the 2020 campaign. Cheney was already looking ahead to a political future beyond Capitol Hill that could include a 2024 presidential run, potentially pitting her against Trump.
This primary election is over, but now the real work begins.
Wyoming has spoken on behalf of everyone who is concerned that the game is becoming more and more rigged against them.
Meanwhile, in Alaska, Senator Lisa Murkowski, another prominent GOP critic of Trump, advanced from her primary. Sarah Palin, the GOP's 2008 vice presidential nominee and a staunch ally of Trump, was also bound for the November general election in the race for Alaska's sole U.S. House seat. In all, 7 Republican senators and 10 Republican House members backed Trump's impeachment after the January 6th insurrection. Just 2 of those House members have won their primaries this year. After 2 Senate retirements, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska is the only one on this year's ballot. Social media companies are offering few specifics on their plans for safeguarding the U.S. midterm elections. Video app TikTok announced that it's launching an election center. You can see here that'll help people find voting locations and candidate information. They're partnering with voting advocacy groups and fact-checking organizations on debunking misinformation. Meta Platforms, which owns Facebook and Instagram, announced they'll stay largely consistent with the policies and safeguards from 2020. Now, Meta declined to say just how many people it has dedicated to this election team responsible for monitoring the midterms, only that it has hundreds of people across more than 40 teams. Meta also says it will reduce how often it uses labels on election-related posts, directing people toward reliable information. The company says its users found the labels overused. Some critics have also said the labels were often too generic and repetitive. Twitter, meanwhile, sticking with its own misinformation labels. The company activated its civic integrity policy last week, which means tweets containing harmful misinformation about the election are labeled with links to credible information. President Biden signed a major climate change and health care bill into law yesterday, cementing a victory for his domestic agenda. The new law is called the Inflation Reduction Act, but Republicans say new taxes in the bill could increase prices. CBS's Bradley Blackburn has more.
With some fanfare at the White House, President Biden marked a major win Tuesday, signing the Inflation Reduction Act into law.
Let me say from the start, with this law, the American people won and the special interests lost.
The president called it one of the most significant laws in the nation's history, committing nearly $400 billion to fight climate change. It also caps out-of-pocket prescription drug costs for Medicare recipients.
The bill I'm about to sign is not just about today, it's about tomorrow. It's about delivering progress and prosperity to American families. It's about showing the American and the American people that democracy still works in America.
The bill passed the Senate without any Republican support, and after West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin won some concessions for fossil fuels.
You have to have a vibrant fossil industry that's able to produce the power that we need today and be able to also invest into the future. And that's what we're doing.
While Democrats called it the Inflation Reduction Act, nonpartisan analysts say it will have minimal effects on high prices. Republicans criticize the billions of dollars in spending.
Democrats, more than any other majority in history, are addicted to spending other people's money, regardless of what we as a country can afford.
The law will be funded through higher corporate taxes and tougher tax enforcement by the IRS. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
President Biden plans to start touring the country in the coming weeks. He's scheduled to attend dozens of events in at least 23 states. Before the end of the year, the Senate could vote on the assault weapons ban, which proposes the right to keep and bear arms is not unlimited. In late July, the House sent bill to the Senate for a vote. Lawmakers are calling for tougher regulations in light of recent mass shootings and as schools are about to get underway. In order to make it to the president's desk, the legislation needs at least 10 Republican votes to bypass the filibuster process. President Biden calls a ban on certain semi-automatic guns common sense. As a senator, he passed the original ban back in 1994. As school starts around the nation, districts are already facing an uphill battle, a shortage of teachers. Tens of thousands of positions are unfilled, and parents wonder how that will affect their students.
Students won't have as much individualized help. They might not be getting the quality of education.
The American Federation of Teachers says the shortage is due to low pay, classrooms being politicized, and a basic lack of appreciation for educators. Some districts are now getting creative to bring teachers back to class, offering 4-day work weeks, thousands of dollars in incentives, discounted childcare, and even relaxing the dress code. A recent study shows children with a large vocabulary before they begin preschool perform better in class than students with weaker vocabulary skills. Researchers from Ohio State found a child's ability to engage with teachers and peers is affected by the range of words they know.